What?
We are recording now.
Are we?
Yeah,
I wasn't picking my nose. I itch it just there. It's not picking my nose. You think it is, and it isn't.
no. We got an audience as well. Nicole's watching. She's visiting the studio. So it's episode 46, Friday, the 8th of May.
Yeah.
VE Day. You all right?
I'm slurping my tea because we're a bit late today.
Oh, we're not late. No, you're hassling me, so I'm not very well prepared.
All right.
Now, VE Day, what does that mean to you?
I told you, victory in Europe.
Yeah.
After D-Day, which was Dunkirk, wasn't it?
I don't think we're going to that sort of history, though.
Well, we watched Vera Lynn last night, which was absolutely wonderful. She's 103. I can't believe it.
You'll get there. Don't worry.
Oh, with this cough, I won't. I think I might be going next week.
Yeah, you'll get there. Anyway, bearing in mind we're all about being upbeat, positive, victory in Europe Day and all this, that and the other, I wanted to start this morning with your parting shot last night, which was about this video cast, saying, I quote, "I'm not feeling it." Now, that spread panic amongst some viewers.
I didn't mean it literally that I didn't want to do it or anything like that. I just wasn't feeling it yesterday. I just didn't sort of like, get enthusiastic.
How are you feeling now?
Much, much better today. I've done a few jobs and I've got myself galvanised. I've got to go shopping. I'm going to go see your mum and sort her bits and pieces out.
Medicine, yeah, of course.
Yeah, I've got the medicine and the chicken manure. So, yeah.
I hope she eats the right one and uses the right other one on her plants.
Well, you can't really mix them up. One's in a great big bucket and one is in a bag that says green, and it's like, you can't mix them up, dear. Don't worry. Okay.
So we're moving on. You're in a good frame of mind. You turned around that deflated spell you spent.
It could have been the waffling yesterday. I'm not sure.
You spent an hour and a half getting ready this morning because I've witnessed it. Normally I'm up.
I haven't been an hour and a half.
We're ready to go. So music from yesterday, quite appropriate in the circumstances. You Raise Me Up by Westlife. And again, staggering performances from Tony Fallbrook and Steve Fury came in together. Steve Fury, fraction behind on the message board, blaming it on his daughter, asking him a question as he was about to press the send button. So I gave Steve a half a point and Tony 1 point for that.
I think they're actually sitting there waiting for this broadcast to be posted and then just listen to the music, then boom. Yeah, I'm not sure about them.
Well, hopefully, I'm trying desperately to catch them out. We're going a bit different today. We'll see whether they get it. But you've got to get the song, the artist, and the connection to yesterday. Here we go. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Stop.
There you are. Stop there.
I think you're giving them too many bars.
Yeah, maybe. We shall see. It's a difficult one because you want them to be pleased with themselves and you don't want them to spend all day on VED. VE Day. That's a good one. Do we have a VD Day?
I don't think so.
VE Day, agonising over this and, spending all day on their iPads and whatever, trying to research it. But there you go.
No, go and buy some scones and have a little party.
Yeah, good luck to everyone on that. Yeah, right. Okay, photo. I need more photos. I've got some of school photos from Steve Fury. We got him in the school photo yesterday. It was on
because Steve Fury hasn't got any hair, I'm hardly likely to recognise him in his school picture.
But us old ones who've known him a long time
You probably would, yeah.
And then we had one from Alan Buckle, which I was amazed that I got Alan, because that was 1977, and everybody had hair all down to their shoulders. So
I know.
yeah.
Well, with Steve Fury, I think he's the ginger one in the middle.
I'm not sure. I can tell you where it was. It's fourth from the left at the back, I think. Yeah.
He wasn't the ginger one then.
Anyway, talking of hairstyles, the photo today that I've chosen is one sent in by perhaps our number one viewer, which is Dave Adkin, who's had his hair cut, and he shared it with us.
Oh, bless him.
Are you ready? Because I haven't shown you this. You've got to put your tea down, haven't you?
I have put my tea down.
Right. Here's Dave.
Oh my God. Pat, what have you done to him? Yes, very nice. Thanks.
What are you thinking, Dawn? What are you thinking?
You know those, you know, you put your gurney on and you wrote those faces. That's what I think. Don't make me laugh.
I thought, what I thought was, oh, that's a rare photograph of the other side of the moon. That's what I thought.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. I think he's actually got to go back and do a bit if you look carefully.
No, let's not go into that. Let's not have the picture up again, please, because I don't want to laugh anymore.
There's some there she's got to do. Look, she hasn't finished yet.
No, leave him like that, please. Don't.
Anyway, if Pete Mason's watching, he might feel a little bit.
He might do. I doubt it though.
Okay, so that very, very grateful for Dave for sharing that with us. Feedback. I've given a little bit. Steve Fury was great with his school photo, but also his dislike of parties, and we've had a few like that coming out of the woodwork, quite openly saying they don't like certain people and don't really enjoy going to parties. A bit like myself, really. You're a bit more of a party girl.
No, I'm more sociable. I mean, I can talk to anybody. I mean, I met a lady yesterday, and she's elderly. She's got a dog, and she said to me, "I'm fed up with this." She says, she's meaning lock up. She lives on her own. So I said, "Oh, we've got to keep going. It's not going to be much longer, but we kept coming in." And then we had a little chat, and she went away, and she was feeling better. She saw a little dog saw a friend of hers, and she went off to have a little chat with her. And it is about just having a little chat every now and again. But you do find out things. I mean, just what people do, etc. And from there you can open up a conversation. I do avoid certain people though, because I just think, oh, God, you just within 2 seconds they've bored me to tears, and so then I tend to say, "Oh, I've just got to go do something," and I disappear and I'll go and talk to somebody I like and get on with. It's not very good, really, but don't tell anyone else my secret, will you?
Oh, if we ever get back to normal and they wonder you say I've got to go and do something, they realise they're boring now.
Well, they're just boring me at that time.
Well, that's Steve Fury and Grazia the same. I'm the same. So we're all going to get together for a party afterwards and not.
I doubt it. Grazia did say she does like the national get-togethers and things like that. Yeah. I must admit, I've got to the point where, I don't like the big disco noise, etc. It just, it's bumping in you. You can't talk to people. I like parties where, you've got a drink in your hand and you're going around and having a little chat with everyone.
Yeah, and it's quite difficult for us that can't concentrate on 2 or 3 things at a time. You've got music in the background and you're trying to hear. It's very difficult to hear people in parties as well as you get to a certain age, I think.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you cleaned your ears, though, you might just hear a little bit more.
So there's a few of us there.
You're not the only one. You feel better now because you're not the only one in the world who doesn't like parties.
Exactly, yeah, and I think those sorts of things are coming out. You think you're the only one,
Well, yeah, what you really mean is you're not the only grumpy old man.
Exactly. Steve Fury's we're getting T-shirts made, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, number 1 grumpy man and number 2.
Angie Crush, next up on the feedback. Angie was talking about how she got, remember Grazia's story about having a bit too much to drink?
Yeah, having too much to drink. Yeah.
Cycle from London to John O'Groats. Well, Angie Crush took a bet from somebody. She'd never done any running to run a half marathon, and she took £1,000 off somebody she works with, who didn't think she would do it, and she only took the bet because she was drunk. So that was a good thing that turned around there.
Mm.
He gave £1,000 to charity, I think, actually.
Yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day, don't agree to anything when you're drunk.
It would be good to still get more stories about what people have agreed to when they're drunk, as long as they're not.
Yeah, it'd be quite interesting. But I think half the time people can't remember what they do when they're drunk. So yeah.
Angie also, her #1 dream in life is to go and see Barry Manilow in concert in Las Vegas.
Ah.
The trouble is
as he's getting older, she's got less of a window of opportunity. So she's got to go and do that sooner rather than later, hasn't she? Really, if that's her one dream.
Yeah, and as Rachel Fagg said, he's having so much plastic surgery, he won't be able to move his mouth soon. So she better get in there quick.
I don't think that's very fair, but yes, I suspect she's a bit stiff now. I can't talk properly.
Yeah. So we haven't done plastic surgery. I wonder if any of the viewers have had plastic surgery.
Well, I've had plastic surgery.
Hey?
God, yeah, I haven't.
Do you want us to suggest some viewers? You can find in what does Dawn need doing?
Yeah. Do I need a nose job?
Scott took us through how he's felt in life, ups and downs. He was giving James Taylor encouragement, who was feeling a bit grumpy in his 20s. They both agree that going for a run's good. And Hubert congratulated everybody on the impressive mental health advice that keeps coming from all sorts. He's also in later life learnt to say no, which is a big thing. And he says that events carry on without him. Hope he's not too miffed about that, but yeah, they do.
No, I think in some respects, I mean, if you feel that you're doing everything and nobody's sort of like stepping up because you're sort of like, they say, oh, you're doing such a good job, I don't see how it's going to continue after that. Well, then that's a good time to sort of step back because someone else needs to step up to it. My big theory in life is that if we've started something and we built it, we need people to come in and learn how, to do it, to improve it and take it forward. You don't want it to die. And if you don't have other people helping, it has that chance of dying off. The club is a prime example of it.
Delegate and stuff, yeah, and train people. He also likes the home decathlon idea. He suggests making it, I think it was a heptathlon, so halving the number of events because it would be
pentathlon, didn't he say?
Yeah, so it's not so taxing. Now, off feedback, I got to tell you this little joke. I hope I can do it justice. It came in again from Dave Adkin, and it gave me a little bit of inspiration. It's during lockdown, this guy sent a text to his neighbour saying how dreadful he'd felt over the last few weeks. He'd been in this stage, you're trying to be more neighbourly, and he sent him a text to apologise the fact that he'd been sharing his wife for the last 2 years without telling him. And the neighbour read the text, got his gun, went round next door, shot him, came back home, shot his wife, and sat down to have a drink. Looked at his phone, and there was another text had come in from the neighbour saying, "Oh, blooming heck, predictive text. It should have said Wi-Fi." Do you not get
I do, but he shot 2 people. It's terrible. It's not a joke.
But it made me think, and this is a bit of a long shot. Has anyone, maybe you, have you ever sent anything? We had, with predictive text gone wrong a bit embarrassingly. I know Louise Mason was guessing the Artful Dodger, and she said Dogger the other day.
Yeah. I don't think it's come up with any sort of like embarrassing words like that. It does change it when you're predictive text. I tried to turn it off now so that I'm actually it's doing what I'm typing, but it does correct you as you type as well, and it's so annoying.
It is annoying, very annoying when you fired it off and then you I always try and read things.
Yeah.
That's another good motto.
I've now got into your habit of trying to read it. Sometimes you don't, because when you've typed something and you know that you've typed it correctly, you don't expect it to change it, do you?
No, it's so frustrating. I mean, the one that springs to mind for me, we were at the South of England Road Relays being hosted by Aldershot Farnham District, and I used Twitter, and a lot of people in the sport,
follow you, yes, I do, for the news, etc., because it's so quick.
And I've got my phone, and I'm sending out these quick updates on the race, and I mistyped Aldershot, and the I is next to the O on the keyboard. That's all I'm saying. And suddenly, I had all these people saying, Mark, have you looked at your last tweet? Do you realise what you said? And I had to. They didn't believe me. But I had to say it was completely innocent. Surrounded by all these people from Aldershot.
I remember that. But the thing is, I knew you meant Aldershot.
Yeah, I don't think we got any from Aldershot. We might have to watch this. If we do, then it's nice. It'd be nice to hear from.
Anyway, competition is healthy. I mean, I disagree with clubs going round talking to other athletes saying, "Oh, we're the best club in the country. Why don't you come and join us?" Because that does put seeds of doubt into other people. And so at the end of the day, you might feel that you're the best club in the country, etc. But there's no need to sort of brag and try and, make other people join your club, is there?
Why have you brought that up?
No. I just say there's a healthy competition, because that's why people said, did you realise what you put? Because they thought you didn't like Aldershot, which is not the case.
I'm with you. Anyway,
honestly, that's why you're so slow.
I do get on very well with them all. They're all right. Okay, so we're running out of time. Don't want to go on too long, but I had a couple of other ideas which weren't very good. So you've managed to get us through this and get that feeling back. But just thought that, bearing in mind Angie wants to go and see Barry Manilow in Las Vegas. Have you got a dream that you would like to do? And don't say go and visit your mum. Come up with something,
Well, no, when we went to Hawaii, I thought, because I did all about World War II at school, etc., and I'd always wanted to go to Hawaii, and we went. So in a sense, I've done my sort of like major dream that I wanted to do, but I wouldn't mind going back there. I mean, I loved it over there. It was really nice. But I mean, at the moment, we can't go anywhere, and I'm not going to go anywhere for a long time. So, I just don't feel safe anymore.
No. So anything else springs to mind then?
Well, I suppose sort of, I mean, I would go to Australia, but I'd probably be bitten by a bloody snake. So, I mean, in a sense, that wouldn't be very good. New Zealand, perhaps, because, the Malis, and, there's still some of the world that I'd like to see.
But what about if some tickets came up in front of you or were advertised? Is there anything that would grab you and...
Oh, no. I'm not... I probably, bands are always disappointed. If you had like a favourite band when you were younger, you go to see them now, it's always a disappointment in my view, because they're never as you remember them, because at that time you were fanatical about them, and so that's very difficult to sort of like accept. So I mean, I went to see Stevie Wonder in concert. I mean, as a teenager, I played Stevie Wonder back to front, but I mean, in a sense, I don't know, it was slightly disappointing, but also awesome as well. So it's very difficult to sort of like put a judge on it. I become sort of like very skeptical in my old age, so I'm thinking, do I want to do that? It's a bit like, will it improve the boat, make the boat go faster? It's that sort of theory. I've got to that stage in life. I'm not going to do something just because I thought it was a good idea, because then I might be disappointed. Yeah,
I can relate to that, because I saw the tickets for AC/DC at the Olympic Stadium in London 3 or 4 years ago, didn't I? And I thought that would bring back great memories, not only of just seeing them in 1979 or whenever it was, but also going back to the Olympic Stadium, my favourite stadium. So Alex, my son, came along, Pete Mason came along. you know, took them as a special treat. But the lead singer, of course, had died previously. I think they had 2 lead singers that had died or retired. And Axl Rose from Guns N' Roses did it. And you thought, wow, this is going to be good. But he was a bit of a disappointment, to be honest. And so Angie, be very careful. Barry might not be at his best when you get to see him.
But mind you, we went to a couple of shows in Las Vegas, and they were absolutely fantastic. You know, the trapeze and everything else, and we also went to see Elvis, didn't we? And I thought they were really, really good. But then we liked sort of music.
We didn't see Elvis, Dawn. Yeah.
No, we didn't see Elvis, but we went to a show that was about Elvis, wasn't it? And it was like a take of an Elvis. Yeah. I realise he's dead, Mark. I'm not stupid. That's what I mean about it. In a sense, Circus du Soleil was very, very good. I really enjoyed that because I mean it's something I wouldn't be able to do. And yes, I found that fantastic. So
good stuff. Right. Well, that will do. Got a bit left over for tomorrow or the next day or whatever. So we have feedback. From anybody. Good typos that have embarrassed them. Maybe sending the wrong email to the wrong person or something like that. That might be.
I've done that. I've done a text to the wrong person and then that to explain that it wasn't for them.
Is it worth telling us about or not?
No, it wasn't that embarrassing. It was just something. Here's the video, and never mind. See you later. Bye.
Hang on, I haven't finished yet. And so feedback on that, and also on any dream concerts or what you would, your number one dream.
Or any dreams that you'd like to do, but be careful what you wish for, because sometimes if the wonderful experiences that you had when you were younger don't always material into the wonderful experiences as you get older, because you change. That's the thing, isn't it, really?
It is, yeah.
All right, then. I'll see you later.
Barry's changed more than many of us, so. Right, cheerio then.
What plastic surgery do I need?
Oh, yeah. Anyone had plastic surgery? And what does Dawn need?
See you later. Bye.